Hey, what's up, guys? This is JC. Happy New Year. First things first. Happy holidays. Happy everything. So I've been gone for a while. I've been testing, a lot of testing. I've been studying, a lot of studying. I've been studying for my CCNA. I'm trying to get this cert before it expires. February 23rd is the deadline, I believe. Yes. And I'm really trying to get that going and trying to get that to happen. So I've been studying a lot. It's been intense and I've been going at it. But this video is really about the Network Plus. I'm making this video after I passed my exam. I passed it November 21st of 2019 now. Yes. It took me about a month of studying to pass the exam. It was hard. It was a lot of intense studying. I had to study quite a lot, probably like 4 to 5 hours a day. And it was intense. Um, but yep, stay tuned. Watch out for this video. I'm going to tell you what I did to pass that exam. Yes. So I did something differently for this exam. So for the Network Plus, I attended a 4-day boot camp, which is basically a course where you're taught everything that's needed and what goes into passing the Network Plus exam. I did it because I really wanted to get the Network Plus over with and go on to start studying for my CCNA. Now, normally, I wouldn't really recommend going to a boot camp or attending some sort of course to pass and attain a certification, but I did do it because I said I did want to pass that exam as fast as possible. And in doing the boot camp, it allowed me to get all the information I needed in one place and not have to scour the internet and kind of just dig through the false information and just have all the right information in one place. And that made it a lot easier for me to pass and study. This is not saying that my experience in attending the boot camp was bad, but I am someone who would have rather studied on my own and kind of figured things out with time. But as I said, considering the circumstances that I was put under, that I put myself under, I did it. I do recommend taking your time when studying for the Network Plus. It is a tough exam. It's tough for people who never really been into networking before. So I would recommend taking a couple months and studying, taking your time to get to know what is what and how things work, just so you help yourself in the long run. Now, if you are someone who does like to learn in a class environment, then I do recommend a boot camp. I wouldn't recommend a boot camp that is 4 days straight. I would recommend a boot camp that you take once a week and you have time to study throughout the week so you can really understand and dig deep into the information you're provided during the class. So now for the good stuff. The reason why you clicked on this video. How I passed my Network Plus exam in 1 month. Yes, the boot camp was of great help, but I also had to study after the class to solidify all the information I was provided in the class. So the resources I used to pass my Network Plus were flashcards and websites. The websites included Crucial Exams, Exam Compass. Both of those websites have a bunch of questions that are very similar to the questions that you would see on the Network Plus exam. Another really important resource that I used was Udemy. Udemy provides great content at an affordable price, which is always great. The courses I took on Udemy included Mike Myers and Jason Dion's. The reason I took those two courses were because they were the most rated and recommended by other test takers who have passed the Network Plus exam. Mike Myers has both video content training and exams on Udemy. I personally purchased the exams on Udemy. They really give you a good idea of how the real life exam would map out like. You get about 90 questions per exam, so that's a total of 270 questions that you can just go over and over and over and go through them and study what you don't get right and what you don't understand. So it's a good study resource that you can use to really get going and get a good understanding of these questions. What I really like about the exam is that it provides a breakdown based on the real exam objectives. Now, That gives you a better understanding of where and what areas you are weak in and allows you to improve and better prepare for the exam. I also took Jason Dion's course on Udemy. His exam course is a little bit different from Mike Myers. His exam course provides you with multiple simulations that you would see on the real life exam. And I believe they are really important to get down because I think a big part of me passing was because I understood the simulations and I knew how to do them. Now, in my opinion, I believe Giant's course to be a little bit harder than Mike Myers' course. His questions are a little bit tougher, and he also has simulation questions which come in handy when taking that exam. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So when the practice questions are hard, it makes it a whole lot easier for you when you're taking the real life exam. And that's why I recommend Jason Dion's course. But if you're willing to get both courses, then get both courses. They are really helpful. Just watch out. Keep an eye out for Udemy. You can get both courses for $12 each whenever there's an offer. So just keep an eye out. So a lot of the exam consists of terminology. So I would really recommend studying a lot of the network terminology that is used in the CompTIA exams. And it makes it a lot easier if you have taken the A plus and you pass the A plus, kind of get a better idea of how CompTIA questions are like. That's why I recommend the Udemy courses with the practice exams. They provide real questions that are similar to what you would see on the exam, and they kind of give you a better idea of what you're going into. So it's always good to know and be prepared for these exams. So do it. My tips for the exam would be to study a lot of the network configurations, the abbreviations, the terminology, the connection types, study a lot of your command prompts, also the network troubleshooting, a lot of security questions. Like, really get a good idea of these questions and how you would go about answering them. A lot of it is the troubleshooting and how you answer the question. Now, it's not always the answer that you know to be correct in the real world. It's always the answer that CompTIA wants you to give them. And that's why it's always good to familiarize yourself with CompTIA questions. And that's why I provide you with these resources so you can put yourself with CompTIA questions. I did forget to add subnetting. Subnetting is important to know. I didn't get too many questions on subnetting, but it is important to know, and it's good to know just to make your life easier if you do have a couple questions on subnetting, which could really help in you passing. Another tip I would like to add would be to know your network protocols. Know them like the back of your hand, knowing what ports they use, and also knowing IP classes. A really important tip is to always read through the question a couple times. If you don't have time and you think the question is too hard, then skip over the question, save it, flag it, and leave it for later. But always over the question and make sure you are getting what they're asking. Because a lot of the questions that I've gotten wrong, I was led on to believe that a question was asking one thing, but it was really asking another. So always read through the question a couple of times if the question is kind of difficult. My recommendation for the class would be to study. Study hard and do not procrastinate. Do not say you'll study tomorrow or that you'll wait to start studying in a month or so, but just start studying. Even if it's 30 minutes a day, just study an hour a day. If you can get 2 hours, even better. That makes it a whole lot easier for you to understand what's going on with the exam. So just study hard, and pass that exam, man. One last thing to finish off this video would be to study hard and study a lot. I don't want you retaking the exam. Retaking the exam gets pretty pricey, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. So study hard and study a lot, and good luck. Happy New Year.